88.75 on the second, the total gross is 88.79.
No worries, thank you. Morning.
I'll go, mate.
probably can't see it. Bit dark out there. So that means there's no work today. My tippers are loaded. And yeah, I'm cleaning the truck. I haven't cleaned it since we took our trip up to Catherine because we've been busy with harvest. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. So up inside here, like I said, I am actually cleaning at the moment. So we've basically got nothing in here, and there's my spilt cordial. I'm actually cleaning the truck at the moment, so you can see we've got all the switches over here, which that's the data star I was saying about before, and down there that's the air pressure gauge for the rear axle, which tells me the same as what the data star does. So obviously our speedos being in Australia, kilometres per hour, and quick run through the gauges. You got your tacho, your engine revs, that's a clock. That one there is engine oil pressure. We've got the turbo boost pressure for the turbo. We have the coolant temperature, the engine oil temperature, and then down there we have the trans oil temperature and any restrictions in the air cleaner. It comes up and shows the level of the vacuum if there's a restriction there. Over this side we have two air pressure dials. They show us the pressure in the tanks. Down here, excuse me, we have the front axle or forward axle temperature. As I said before, we have the suspension pressure. Down there is the rear axle temperature. Over there is obviously the ambient temperature outside. A fuel gauge, which also has a def gauge down the bottom, a bit of government juice, and a battery voltage, as well as a turbo timer. Over here, this strange looking thing, all that does is tells me the temperature in my fridge. Jake brake with the 3 settings for the Jake. We have headlights, the light dimmer, and when you put it up to full brightness, it also brings on the interior light, ball lights. We have the mirror lights, the hookup lights or work lights, which are behind on the back of the cab. The mirror lights are obviously on top of the mirrors. We have the flashing lights, the beacons, mirror heaters, and electric mirror adjustments in and out. Up there is cruise control on and off. Cruise control set, decelerate, resume, and accelerate. The sleeper lights to turn the sleeper lights on and off, and a switch to turn my fridge on and off. Down here we have diff locks and cross locks. So we've got your differential lock and your interaxle lock. We've got suspension dump, which drops your air suspension so you can get the back end of the truck lower. We've got a trailer brake release. So when we're loading the trailers, we press that and that actually supplies air back into the trailers so that it keeps the air up so that our gauges work properly. Have windscreen wipers with on, off, or delay, so intermittent. When you've got them on, you've got a high-low for your windscreen wiper, and then the washer. Over here we have the trailer emergency release, which with that pulled out, there's no air supplied to the trailers, so you've got to make sure that's pushed in, and then the parking brake. And then down here, obviously, heater and air conditioning controls. Right down there is a manual air fan control. So when you want the fan on in hot conditions where it keeps on cycling in and out, you can press that button and it'll keep the fan on full time. This is your trailer brakes as far as a manual control of your trailer brakes while you're able to drive along, not to be used for parking, and obviously indicators and high beam. And as I said, it's an 18 speed Road Ranger. So yeah, and we have air ride seats in both sides. Yes, that seat is torn. After 7 years of that one being the driver's seat, I really wouldn't be surprised that it's torn. Up here we have a standard UHF CB with also a stereo underneath with Bluetooth, and we have usually run a second UHF in our trucks, which that's my own. So as far as the bunk, as I said, it has a split system air conditioner. We've got the cabinets at the top and a shelf that runs down each side. So over this side I've got a TV and some stuff stored. Over that side I've got a King's 12 volt oven, and yeah, so like I said, excuse the mess on the bed, I'm actually currently cleaning my truck. And then ordinarily between the seats here, when I go away on long trips, I have a King's fridge that I put in here, which is a 60 litre, and ordinarily running around here I have a 40 litre, I believe it is, Engel that usually sits in here, so it's a bit thinner. But yeah, so that's the inside of my truck. The best part about these Western Stars is this is the roof. Like it from here going back, the roof goes up. The Mac I used to drive, the roof used to come back to about here, here, before the bunk could start. So these actually have a massive amount of headroom, and the first time I actually drove one of these was actually this truck, and I got in it, and I said to Rob, like, you know, I started to get a bit of a fear of open spaces, because I looked up at the roof and went, oh, far out, that's a bit high. But yeah, so quite a nice truck to drive, and yes, very well looked after. And mine's the only one with a black bonnet. A little while ago, the boss, like, we had to get the bonnet redone because it cracked the fiberglass mounts. The boss goes, oh, we'll get the top of it painted white. And I said, no, you won't. And yeah, he goes, oh, you prefer the black bonnet? I said, yeah, you don't get the shine in your face that you do with the other ones. So hence the reason mine's still got a black bonnet. I was going to record this standing outside, but I think the wind's probably going to affect my microphone. So I'll come back in this way a bit. So behind my truck, my normal trailers are a set of a pair of 2023 Lusty EMS grain trailers. So on our Lusty trailers, we have the Razor electric rollover tarp, which is Bluetooth controlled as well as remote. I do have remotes in the cab. We can operate them from the truck. There is a keypad down the side here, which you can operate it from. There is buttons on the actual motor you can control it from. I can control it from my phone, and I can control it from remotes. Also up the top there, you'll see that pretty arrow right up the top there. That is for our throwover bar, we call it, which is a bar that runs down the centre of the trailer to keep the tarp up so that the rain doesn't sit up there. Now that bar, there's a switch down the back near the tailgate release that when I pull that switch, it actually flips that bar out to the passenger side. The reason for that is that then leaves it so there's only one cross member through the centre of the trailer from one side to the other, and then it leaves two open sections. So if we're tipping in with a front end loader or something, you can actually tip the bucket right down into the trailer. Yeah, tip it right down into the trailer and it won't hit anything. There's no bars or anything for it to hit. Further to that, I'll speak English one day. Further to that, we have right way digital gauges on my tippers. They won't work at the moment because they only work with the lights on, the same as the AirTags. But it has a digital gauge there, we're able to read. But as you can see by how dirty it is inside there, I never open them because they're also Bluetooth. I can bring it up on my phone to show me what weights I've got on each axle group. So there's the tailgate release and the flip over bar for the centre bar that goes over. And in between these, I have a 2023 Freightmaster dolly. Yes, I know they've got Lusty EMS mud flaps on it, so it looks pretty. But it is a Freightmaster dolly and tows quite well. Other than that, we've got our boxes on the side here where we keep all of our stuff. There's a box on each side. My tools are usually all on the other side. Over here I keep like spray cans, cleaning products, my little gas cooker, my helmet. So, on the Star itself, this is actually our oldest truck. And when I say our oldest truck, it's 7 years old. When I first started driving it, I was only supposed to be casual, and ended up that we had enough work that I became permanent pretty quickly. So yeah, when I first started driving this truck, I gave the boss a bit of a hard time and said to him that there's something wrong with the bunk cooler. And his response was, yeah, and it's going to continue to be a problem because you're not getting one. He goes, you sleep at home every night? Yep, beauty. No dramas, that works for me. So if you've watched the video on our trip to Kununurra, that happened a week beforehand. Sent us up to Kununurra and the boss goes, oh, you want to take your truck, don't you? Not one of the others. I said, preferably. Because, yeah, each of us have sort of got a bit of a love affair with our own trucks and don't really want to drive the others. Nothing wrong with the others, we just prefer our own trucks. But that is a Webasto split system air conditioner. It runs off of 12 volt, so it runs off the truck batteries. Mine's the newest split systems out of the the 4 of our trucks. And yeah, it minimal use of power and everything, but you can run the risk of running your battery down too low and then have to start your truck up in the middle of the night when you're up in the hot area. But I have not had that problem yet. Yeah, the little 4800, that's actually got a custom air on it, so that has its own diesel motor that runs off the diesel tank that came with that already fitted. Now when I say this truck here is 7 years old, it is 7 years old, and at the time of this recording there's about 3,000, just over 3,000 k's to go until she hits a million. So as you can tell, she's a pretty tidy truck. The boss looks after them pretty well, keeps them nice and clean. So yeah, the reason you hardly see my face on here or hardly have me doing explanations like this and explaining to you what's going on is because I perceive that you would rather see what I'm doing than look at my face and hear me waffling on. So yeah, I try to keep my mug out of it and try to give you the footage you come to see, because I feel that would probably be more exciting than looking at me.